good day from the echoes of the Dawntrail Media Tour, fellow Warriors of Light, and especially fellow Black Mage players. It is I, the most cat girl of all Black Mages, and on behalf of MMORPG, I am pleased to bring you an overview of the changes coming to the Black Mage job in Dawntrail. And oh boy, are these big changes that alter the way we play the class in quite a few ways. First of all, obligatory legally required disclaimer, thanks to Square Enix for flying me out to LA for the media tour, and I'm sorry for devouring as many tortilla chips and mocktails as I did. Please keep in mind this is still a development build, so any of the stuff I may ramble about, it may change in the future up to the Dawntrail launch. Especially because we have the head producer and director on our side as a representative Black Mage main keeping tabs on us and the greatest job for the best players in the game. Now, I'm sure some of you are here for one reason and one reason only. Do you want to see me move these ley lines? Alright, so after this little fire attack, I am going to go throw down my ley lines and then move out of the way so I can demonstrate the point. Gonna give them a little bit of fire and ice, hit the retrace button that replaces the ley lines. Bam, there's my new ley lines. Shout out to my static. So now that that fun's out of the way, here's a story. I spent about 10 minutes during the media tour bugging both my PC neighbor and Square staff about one thing. Where is Sharpcast? Folks, Sharpcast is gone, terminated, removed, but it'll be fine, sort of, maybe, because there are a few changes that make it slightly irrelevant, though I still wish we had it. We gotta move on though, I'll lament later. So what does this mean for your Thunder and Fire casts? We'll start with Thunder changes, and buckle up because this is, in my opinion, the biggest change made. Thunder will no longer be castable on its own. It'll require you to kick off an Umbral or Astral phase, at which point it becomes an instant free cast, by way of a new state called Thunderhead. On top of that, as far as I read and experienced, there's no more chance for an extra re-up proc. That's to say, the only way to get it is to swap between your Astral and Umbral stuff, or re-up it. So be sure to keep those rolling. The level 92 kit also includes a high Thunder upgrade to increase its potency, as well as that for the AoE equivalent, as similar traits in the Black Mage skill set have. Paradox also has a massive change you need to know. Firstly, there is no ice version anymore. It's only fire. You activate it the same way by flipping from Umbral with 3 Umbral hearts, utilizing Fire 3 to reactivate the Astral state. Here's the fun part. With these changes, it's an instant cast and it evokes that free fire starter, so you technically wouldn't need that sharp cast in this specific instance. Sadly, it's still not free, but hey, nice instant cast. Now, you're probably asking, what are you supposed to do to keep ice up now? Well, apparently they decided to change the button from Despair into Umbral Soul on your hotbar once you flip between those phases. It's one of the design choices ever made, certainly. However, there is a cool new perk. A mana refill based on how many Umbral Ice stacks, yes, the main blue markers, you have. If you're all full on ice, you'll be all full of mana. And while we're on the subject of ice, as our Black Mage Ambassador already mentioned in the Job Actions live letter, your Blizzard 4 now just gives you a whole mana bar refill. That's neat. I forgot to test it for 1 and 3, but as you see, 1's not even on my hotbar, and who has time for Blizzard 3 in this economy? Back to fire, because we have that neat new Flare Star ability now. It's activated by triggering Fire 4 and maybe Fire 2, I forgot to check, 6 times in one Astral phase, which is how much you should be getting in your standard rotation anyway, right? It's also one of the most powerful spells in your toolkit, aside from Xenoglossy and Foul, and it's an AoE with decreased adjacent damage as many other abilities are. By the way, Xenoglossy and Foul don't see any changes as far as I saw, except that you get one more slot for it at level 100. And this might already be in the game, but Amplify still requires that you have Enochian activated. Fair. The last major change is to Mana Font because we're saving the second to best for last. Or best if you like mana, because this baby procs everything. Full mana, fire starter, and it fills up your Astral Umbral gauge. Now that we've gone over everything that I could tell changed, and I remembered to test, sorry. My personal interpretation of this new playstyle is that it's a continuation of the Endwalker implementation that tells you to do your goddamn rotation. The introduction of Paradox last time around encouraged players to swap between Astral and Umbral to tap into their full moveset. Now the Thunder change practically mandates it. I don't like the lack of independent casting of Thunder because I love being lazy and complaining, but independent of my personal preferences, I do like what they're doing with it. Plus, the 6-step Astral Gauge is a great reward for, once again, doing your goddamn rotations. More fire is good because, as you may recall, The Astral State gives you a big baseline damage boost for fire attacks, and you always want to stay in that as long as possible during your standard rotation. Yoinking the Ice version of Paradox in favor of the changes we've gone over pretty much discourages players from Ice Maging all the way to level 100. In short, once again Black Mage players, we stay winning. Unless we're doing level 70 content like Ultimate Weapon Ultimate, you know, hello. Especially with Sharpcast gone, it's still gonna hurt on the way up. Do you agree with this interpretation? What do you think will change about our openers and builds? Thanks for sticking around, and thanks again to Square Enix for having me come out for the media tour and the tortilla chips and neat leather bag and stuff. Be sure to check out the rest of MMORPG for more media tour coverage, as well as year-round Final Fantasy XIV news, columns, and more.